And welcome back to the Sugar and Spice here in Spartanburg, South Carolina for the Spartans at the Spice coming to you live here. We are fortunate today to have one of the women's players from USC Upstate as our first guest on here today. That we have Gracie Barnes. Gracie, welcome to the Sugar and Spice. And I believe this is your first time coming to here? All right, Gracie is from Cincinnati, Ohio. How in the world did you make it to Spartanburg, South Carolina?
My senior year actually is midway through my senior year, I got a call from Coach Steve and Coach Rowe. Yes, I wanted to come and and then the rest is history. They recruited me, I came to visit, so I'm not sure why they're going to Cincinnati, but I'm very good.
All right, well, tell me what you like about Spartanburg. I know these are Cincinnati, Ohio, and Spartanburg, South Carolina are a lot alike there. But what do you enjoy most about Spartanburg?
I like the area a lot. It's definitely like a growing area for sure. But I definitely enjoy just like the surrounding area. I really love like Greenville. It's only about 30 minutes away on the truck on the highway. So just two like major cities that there's a lot to do. So just like Spartanburg, there's a lot of places out here. It's like adventure out to activities for majors, like not having to but I also just love working at Spartanburg. Like the leaders that they supported, Morris Grumman is awesome. Like that's something Spartanburg.
And again, you've got right down the road, down 85, you got Atlanta.
Yes.
That where you can go down and see some events down there. I was down there several months ago for a really good concert down there, though. And you've got the beach too far away.
And about 3 hours,
I bet you go to my daughter lives in Charleston, so I made that one down there, and you got Myrtle Beach also. So you got a lot of good things there, though. What was it most that attracted you that made you want to come play?
Definitely just like the coaching staff of the aspects they have from the beach. When I came on a visit, it was just the first year here that I was putting my team together, bringing them to national schools. And I didn't even know it visited in about November, December. With them, basically, and I thought it was cool that I came and visit. We need to see like where just the players talking with the coaches that was having rooms with the players before and everything. And I think it's a really opportunity for me to hear, what the people have is really like so I think that was something that
Okay. And again, last year, first year here, had a very good season last year. That was for a lot of things, a lot of firsts. And what was that like for you, your freshman year?
it's definitely adjustment to go from high school basketball to college basketball. It's way faster, way more physical, the details are way more important. So I feel like I grew a lot in my emotional maturity and physical maturity. And I really learned a lot from our seniors that were on the team last year. They were super helpful in me, just learning the game and just reminding me that I'm still a freshman, I can still make mistakes, but my goal is to continue to get better as the years go on.
Okay. Tell me what your strong points and weaknesses are. What do you feel like in your strong point? What do you bring to the fore for Spartans?
Well, definitely my leadership, my communication. I feel like it's a really huge thing that also, basketball-wise, my knowledge. I've been ranking as a really strong suit for me. That's something I definitely go to a lot. But weakness-wise, is sort of how my shot is something I'm able to get better at. And defensively, I'm getting better, but I still want to be somebody that's super reliable all the time, especially at the end of games, defensively, just being able to get stops.
Okay. What do you feel like right now? You mentioned some of the things there. As far as what did you learn this year? What do you think you most improved at this year?
I think I've most improved in my defense last year. I was definitely a defensive reliability. But I think for sure this year I've just become more reliable. seconds, I think I've been, able to actually get stops. And then I think I really had brought over like maturity again, like experience from last year. I'm making ownership, so I was knowing like, oh, we have to swing the ball, when we need to get a score, when we need to get a stop.
I had coached other sports that I shared with you earlier that I
Was former assistant women's coach at USC Upstate and coached a lot of things there too. I've also coached football, I coached girls track, I was assistant golf coach, and all that. But regardless, in my opinion,
basketball is the best.
Yeah.
What do you think sets basketball apart from other sports?
I think one thing is I just love the team sport. It is really hard to make those sport individually, just because I think you can't get to that higher level, but I think sport you can do it together. And then definitely just like the physical aspect of basketball, I think it makes it really tough. The contact probably get into the game and get to run around and have a lot of fun with that. That's very physical and that's important.
And again, I used to love it. And I didn't call it basketball, I called it basket brawl.
Yeah.
There's the paint is no place for the weak-hearted.
It's very physical. I remember it. See, we can't do that now. Though. We used to have practices called no foul money, and it was
That's how practices look so hard.
it was really physical.
and usually we had those practices on days where I thought we played a little bit soft and had competed there, but the rules were there was no out of bounds. You played 3-on-3, full court, and there were no rules. That if you wanted the ball, you could go up, physically take it away from somebody in whatever way you needed to do to get it away from them.
Yeah.
It made it interesting. And what you would do, and plus you only got 2 dribbles. You could not dribble the ball more than twice there, then that's all you got was 2 dribbles at a time. And you played to 3 in the rules stayed up.
Similar to what we've been doing our practices too. Competition practices.
Yeah.
And they just get to go at each other, and because in games, there's a lot of times that you're getting fouled that
They don't call
you
it.
want to foul.
Especially when you play on the road, they don't call it.
Yeah, no, they don't call it. So you just have to be able to work through that. And what's best than your own teammates pushing you.
Right. That was, my players used to love it. It's fun because we would go and get out the old practice gear. Because, like I said, sometimes they'd get physical and they'd just go up and rip the shirt off the other guy.
Yeah.
Or go knock it deck and the ball away.
Really not.
But it was, you played the 3 baskets and loser stayed up. All right, moving on from that. Now that I probably going to have an investigation into my programs over the years that they'll go away. We'll delete that part there. What skills do you think are necessary to play basketball?
I definitely think at the collegiate level, high IQ is super important. Being able to really like make making plays. It's not really just about if you can score it. There's a lot of people that can go out there and score, but can you make plays? Can you make really good passes? Can you get a defensive stop? It's a lot of times in high school basketball, like defense is not like the break. Like you're not really having cross your car, but in college you better be trying your hardest on defense and then you run offense.
Right. And I think one thing too that's really important, you told me, is student communication.
Yeah.
That I used to have drills where my players didn't want to talk before. They could talk in the locker room 90 miles an hour. We do drills where we do a 5-man weave down and back and all, where you had to call the name of the person you passed the ball to just to get used to talking. And I made them talk.
Oh yeah, we've been on the line a few times this year because of communication. That's a huge emphasis on our team this year. That's something that I need to. I mean, on the court, like think of a defensive play. You're getting a ball screen happening. You have no idea it's coming because nobody told you, and you get jacked by a ball screen, and then you're hurt. That's communication.
And you got to let them know on a fast break, I got ball, I got ball, I got ball, I got help, right there.
And just like in transition offensively, what player are we in? Is everybody on the same page or stuff like that?
Right. Okay. What do you think makes a great basketball player?
I think somebody who is hardworking. I think somebody who is a leader, but a leader doesn't always have to be somebody who communicates a lot, but you could lead by example too, by your actions on the court. But I think leadership, just whether that's your actions or communication, is really important. you know, I also just think like being able to be coachable. That's like something really important that I think a lot of kids kind of lose nowadays. But being able to be coachable is really important.
So what would you, if you could sum up what, I guess, short term, what do you think your definition of a leader is?
I think a leader is somebody that kind of just does what they say. You know, I feel like they kind of, what's the phrase, walk the talk.
Yep.
I feel like they go out there and they're giving their heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears for their team. You know, they're not just doing it for themselves, but they're doing it for their team, for their coaches, you know, for their community, stuff like that. You know, they're being really selfless. But, you know, even in selfish ways, they're doing it to be better for the team.
Again, I used to tell my players, my definition of a leader is somebody who keeps hope alive. That you're not going to let them give up, you're not going to let them quit, you're going to find a way to win. You're not going to let them do that though. All right, when things aren't going well, what do you do to keep yourself motivated?
Self-talk is something that's something that we've talked a lot about as a team, but that's something that I have grown so much this year for myself even. Just self-talk, just being self-motivated, you know, that regardless of what happens, I trust in our system, I trust in myself, and that even if we don't get the results, we're doing all the right.
How do you manage pressures during the game?
Through my teammates, I feel like through the support of my teammates, I'm not doing it alone, but I'm doing it through the help of my teammates and my coaches. And again, as I kind of said before, like for our system, you know, we practice like our principles and listening and just trusting that that is the way that we have to do it, and even if we don't get the result at the time.
I saw several of your games on broadcast last year, and I want to commend this and kind of talk about it. I thought out of all the teams played, and I covered the University of South Carolina women's team, that I covered them and gone to the Final Four with them and stuff like that. I covered the SEC women's tournament and things like that. Out of any men's or women's basketball teams that I saw last year, I complimented y'all. I thought y'all were absolutely the best at feeding the post. That's one thing that people realize that's hard to do. That's a hard skill to teach. But just being able, because first of all, if you're on the post, you got to give them a good handhold and do the little things. But that's the little things. But out of all the nationally ranked teams and everybody, I saw y'all the best at that.
That's something that we work on every step. Even high school doing just working on going out with the person. Because like you said, it's really important that like for our students because there's only a little bit of it.
Right.
Or else it's going to be a school who we turn and stuff like that. So it's really important for that decision to be there.
Well, as a coach, I was extremely impressed with that. I made a point on the TV broadcast to say that. I thought y'all did a great job with that. All right, as a player, do you have any superstitions? Tell me about your pregame rituals or any superstitions you have.
I'm actually not a super superstitious person, but I guess one thing that I do is I'm always the last one to get taped. That's always been something I won't like freak out if it doesn't happen, but it is something that has been incorporated where I'm always the last one, no matter how many people, even if I'm sitting there 20, 30 minutes waiting, I'm just the last one. I don't know when that, I think it started last year, but our athletic trainer is like, I'm always the last one that has to be, but that's probably the most useful thing.
Okay, so you don't have anything like good luck socks or anything?
No, honestly, no, I don't. I try to, personally for me, I try to not have a bunch of superstitions because changes happen all the time. I don't want to freak out that I'm going to play that before the game, so it's all something to control.
What about music you listen to?
I typically don't listen to the same songs, but I will listen to stuff that, I'm kind of weird about music, but I listen to stuff that makes me happy. Like, not really stuff like how a lot of people will listen to stuff that gets them like pumped and kind of like angry. I listen to stuff that puts me in my happiness and puts me at peace, so that I'm just calm.
Okay, so I'm going to date myself right here. That when I play, I had my floppy socks Have you ever heard of a guy named Pete Maravich? He had a lot of, when Caitlin Clark was trying to break his record and all that Pete Maravich was great, and he wore floppy socks. So I had to wear my floppy socks that I had to do that though. But Pete, I actually got to see Pete play in person one time, and that's great. He was one of the greatest basketball players. I mean, he could do things. He was about 20 years ahead of his time playing the game. They weren't ready. The world wasn't ready for him. And I had to have my music that would get me so hyper. I mean, it'd be like, probably they get Led Zeppelin or Deep Purple or something just really heavy to where I would be, where I could succeed.
Yeah, I don't know why I've never been like that. I think sometimes I do get like anxious looking into the game, but I need something to like calm me down or just put me in kind of a peaceful state.
Well, I had that. All right, are you the kind of person when you play, do you play with a smile or do you put on your game face?
I put on my game. Yeah, I mean, it's, I think every once in a while, I will, but I'm putting on my game face for sure. I'm definitely trying to just keep everybody walk away, keep myself walking the entire time, regardless of what up or down, it really doesn't matter. Just because I don't think, last year was different, but this year, I try not to really change my physical abilities very much, just because, I'm trying to stay confident.
I used to coach. What I would do, always for basketball season, I would grow a stash and goatee, or I'd have a beard, and I didn't have to tell. I could just give my players the look. I didn't have to say it sometimes. I had the game face up. Although away from there, I love to have a good time. I'm always, you don't know what I'm gonna do. I did a game. Broadcast and coaching show here for the high school football team back in Halloween, and I wore Halloween Christmas candy to broadcast that day. So you don't know what don't ever dare me to do something because I'll prove you wrong. I'll do it. So that's how I've always been. What is the biggest misconception of basketball, you think?
That is a really good question. I feel like, at least for women, I guess, it's that we have an attitude around the court. I feel like that has been a big controversy over the last 2 years, I would say, is that we just, certain people just have an attitude, but I think that's just women getting out there and playing hard.
I think you got to play with an attitude.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to play. Hey, you're not coming into my house. This is my house. You're not coming in here to win.
No, and like it's a contact sport. Like there's no way you don't get mad when somebody's, like it always obviously sucks when where you get a turnover. Like I'm not going to be all smiling and happy. Like I'm going to fight for everything, and then especially when you fight for your teammates, like if something happens, we're going to back each other up. So I think that's like a misconception that that's really about an attitude on the court. Like we have the attitude that like we're playing a contact sport. Obviously we're gonna be angry.
And that you can change the word to we got swag.
Yeah.
Swag with that though. So yeah, you gotta play with an attitude and stuff like that. I would be disappointed if it didn't play like that. All right, we're going to full court press now. These are some of the either or questions right here. All right, let me get these out. Heads or tails? Tails never fails. And that's kind of funny because the football team that I broadcast for too, that we talked every week, and I knew because that was our motto: tails never fails. When they had to call coin toss, I always knew they won it 90% of the time calling tails, but I always knew if they didn't get the ball first, that it came up heads.
Yeah.
So, dress shoes or tennis shoes? Would you rather go fast or go up high?
Fast.
Okay. Would you rather go back in time or forward in time?
Fast.
Would you like to be, all right, again, this is with NI, let's see, with NIL and other stuff here, which I'm not all that good with it right now. Would you rather get paid a lot to be on a bad team or get paid a little to be on a good team?
I would rather get paid a little bit.
Would you rather have the record for most points scored or the record for championships?
Champion.
Okay. Would you rather be the hunted team or the underdog?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, right now, I think people the underdog.
I love playing the underdog
Yeah.
role. To do that. There's no respect to underdog role. Would you rather be let's see, that's more for a coach. I'll get to this coaching question. Would you rather be a skill player or a coach? Okay. All right. Would you rather be the mascot for a day or the manager for a day?
The manager. I don't feel like I would want to be the manager just because it would.
As crazy as I am, if you put me in a suit where nobody knows who I am with that head on or something, I would go wild. I would love to be the mascot for a day. I could do some damage in one of those suits and nobody know who's in that suit. Would you rather go undefeated on the road or undefeated at home?
That's a tough one. I feel like undefeated at home. That's what I feel like.
Okay.
You know, home crowd is very supportive when you're there.
But I also love going on the road. I love to go on the road.
100%.
I love to be the bad guy when you go on the road. That day, you talk about playing with Madison. You go in there and
Especially against your rivals and
just
now we're league
your
players.
rivals, and you just
Yeah.
walk off the court.
Yeah.
I love that part though. Would you rather hit the game-winning shot or have the game-winning assist?
Game wins.
Okay. All right. More money or more time?
More time.
Would you rather win the lottery or find the soul?
Find someone.
Okay. All righty. Let me see if I've got any others here. Would you rather play air guitar or air drums?
There's a time.
Would you rather see the future or change the past?
See the future.
Would you rather be poor and happy or rich and miserable?
Corner.
Good looks, good personality.
Good personality.
Christmas or your birthday?
They're 4 days apart. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Before or after your birthday?
It's before, Christmas is after.
After your birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's my birthday.
Would you rather be a famous singer or a famous actor? Okay. All right. Are you an early bird or late owl? Late owl.
Early bird.
All right. Sunrise or sunset?
Something.
Okay. Mild or spicy? And last but not least, do you have any phobias?
Spiders.
Spiders.
Spiders or insects or I was just talking to somebody that the last thing I would want to do is go to Australia because their spiders and their insects are huge. I don't care how much somebody would pay me, I'm not going if their spiders are bigger than my head. So
All right. So last but not least on this too, give me a quick scouting report on your game for Wednesday played at Kentucky.
you know, I think that it's going to be really important for us to use our size against them. You know, we played two traditional opponents. That's not really making for a lot of teams, but especially against them, we definitely need to do a good job of rebounding, boxing out, and then using our big guards against them.
Okay. Well, good luck to you. We've enjoyed. We've had Gracie Barnes from the Lady Spartans. Do y'all like to be called the Lady Spartans, or do you like to be called the Spartans women's team? You know, South Carolina gets real offensive when you call them the Lady Gamecocks. We're the women basketball.
I don't really think it matters. I think it's typically just the Spartans women's basketball.
There you go, the Spartans women's basketball team, and she has been our Spartans player today on the Spartans at the Spice. Good luck to you this season, and look forward to seeing you play. Thank you. We will switch over here real quick.
Set the bar high, Grace.
How did I do, Coach? How did I do?
You did great. That was fun.
That was fun. It's like you been trained or something.
Yeah, that's like I talk a lot or something. You know?
You can talk.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get. Go go ahead and switch you over here with our headphones on. Get these on. And I need to take Jason Williams' name off. While I'm doing that, I'm going to let you introduce yourself to our viewers out here.
Yes, Associate Head Coach Stephen Rhodes. Then give a little background if that works for you.
Okay.
Been with Coach Jason Williams now. This is now my 8th season with him. This is my 7th season. I spent 3 years at Belmont Abbey with him, and now this is year 3, this is 6. And I'm after that. I apologize.
All right, let's see if we can get everybody on. There we go. Now we got everybody on. All right, Coach Rhodes here is with us to talk let's see, upstate women. We got something to talk. Both good assistant coach there today. Got some else in common
And
too.
good head.
That's right. We're members of the Bald is Beautiful Club right there today. So, hey, like I say, people can say whatever they want to, but it makes it a whole lot easier to get up in the morning.
I barely hit the ground here.
Whenever, I know it's time for a haircut when I actually start to see something.
Yeah, that's me right now.
I got mine cut last week. All right there. All right, let's just talk a little bit about your season so far. Last year you came off of a really big season. There we go. I got to put your name up there so I know who you are. Had a great year last year. You did a lot of things. You came in second and all, and I really was disappointed. I thought that Coach Williams and the coaching staff that y'all should have been selected as the coaches of the year last year. You know, and I don't agree with this that people say, well, you always give it to whoever wins the championship. That's bull, because they can do a bad job with good talent and win a championship. But sometimes y'all did a really good job last year. And even though I don't get one, you got my vote for your coaching staff for being coaches of the year last year.
Thank you. That means a lot. I know for us, we really preach the process with our girls and just doing the right thing. They bought into that, so a lot of it just goes to we had a great group of kids, have another great group of kids this year. But the one thing I will say about the Big South, this is the third program I've coached at in the Big South. I was at Radford University, spent some time there, and I was at North Carolina A&T, like I said, here in the Big South. And one thing about the Big South is there are a lot of really good coaches, so I do understand we've got some stiff competition when it comes to earning that award, but we're going to continue to put our head down and work.
Now, when you were at Radford, who was the head coach there?
Mike McGuire.
Mike McGuire, he's one of my favorite coaches in the Big South. We have a good time. He's another one in our club, too.
Oh, yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, another ball guy.
Yes, but I always enjoy seeing him every year. I didn't get to go this year because of the Big South Media Day because of the problem with the hurricane and everything there. But I did do it virtually and on that part there. He got throw a few zingers at it.
There you go.
So I had to definitely say something to him there. So, all right, just talk about this year. You've come in, you've got a young team there. You've got people, Gracie was back from last year's team. But you've got a lot of young freshmen. And you had some, the three-point assassin from last year graduated there, and you've lost that though. But just talk about how that you tried to get these freshmen into being able to play and make a contribution as freshmen this year.
Oh yeah. Well, when we took over the program, to where we had to build. We had to come in and take over the program. We knew it was going to take time. We knew in year 3 we wanted to be young, and as Coach Williams, Associate Head Coach Williams, recruiting coordinator, he was like, look, Steve, I just want to make sure in year 3 we're young. And for me, having to balance it out with transfers and all this stuff now, I was like a mathematician and science, and we were trying to figure out how we do it. But we're here now, and we are, like you just said, 12 freshmen and sophomores on our roster. We have 16 total, so only 4 upperclassmen. But the one thing about it is the talent's in the room, the talent and the character and the right kids, the right people in the room, and that's the most important thing. Now it's our job as coaches to make sure that we're just focused on the little details. When it comes to getting our freshmen there now, is they're getting better and better each game, better and better each week, each practice. That's the fun thing about freshmen. But the challenging thing that they're facing right now is just the consistency in the details that we're teaching. So whether it's from footwork to understanding how to execute to, I know you alluded to it earlier with Gracie with our passing with our outside hand, through outside hand, whether that's into the post or just along the perimeter. So it's a lot of details, it's a lot of teaching, We have to remind ourselves a lot. It's like, this is my favorite simple phrase I'm always saying, teach, teach, teach. So anything will happen in a timeout or in a game, and in those moments, I just have to continue to repeat that through my head, or else you can kind of get off course and want to start yelling about what's happening instead of like teaching the details.
That's one thing that when I retired, and what I miss most about coaching now, teaching the game, that just the strategies and all, teaching the fundamentals, and doing those things. Those are things that were always was fun to me, and it used to be fun to come up with a new idea and not be afraid to put in a new play. Because we had the best out of bounds plays. We could score about any time.
You might have to give us those on there.
I'll bring my playbook and just show you. We got some good stuff, because it's funny. We were sitting in, this was when I was coaching high school, and we were sitting, I had a couple high school guys, and we were playing a game in Colonial Lights, and Dave Odom was the head coach at South Carolina. Dave was a friend of mine. He was sitting on my bench right there with his whole coaching staff. They were sitting on my bench.
Wow.
We were playing a game against when Devin Downey was in high school. I remember Devin, flash from the past from South Carolina. That he was actually recruiting Devin Downey during the game. But we went to run out of bounds play, and the play was blue 44. And so I yelled, blue 44, blue 44, and he looked at me and said, that sounds like a football play. We set the back pick, rolled back, laid it up, and I said, well, it works.
Yeah, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
But it's kind of funny, because another good friend of mine, it was Pete Strickland, who Pete was the head coach of Coastal Carolina for a while there. That Pete and we used to go to this camp every year. Matter of fact, he was my mentor on my master's program. And we sat there at lunch every day. And we would get the salt and pepper shaker, and we would do that. But I gave him all my out of bounds plays, and he actually took them with him when he was with Sidney Lowe at NC State. And they put him in NC State too. So I've got some good situational plays. We used to run a play to start every game that a lot of people want to get off to a good start, because that's sometimes that in a game, when you don't get that basket, first basket, that ring starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I had a kid that played for me, great athlete, that he went on and played. He went on and played football and basketball at the University of North Carolina. He played in the NFL for a couple of years. Basketball. No, this guy's name was Brooks Foster.
Oh, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so Brooks Foster, that he could jump out of the gym.
Oh, yeah.
So we ran a play, it's called Carolina. We ran a play, first play of the game, every game. And you think people would get smart and figure it out. But we ran ice clear out to one side over here, and we ran, the low post came off the block. He passed it to the wing, and he sets the back pick, and we threw the alley-oop dunk. We got a dunk starting the game. And then second time we played, second time around, my 5-man, and my offense, everybody's a shooter.
Yeah.
So my 5-man, so when they both sagged back for the lock, my 5-man, when he set the back pick, stepped out, nailed the 3, and we're 3-0 to start the game.
Okay.
So we had a lot of fun with that, getting that quick start like that though. So you mentioned recruiting coordinator here. All right, I'm seeing New Boston, Indiana, Cookeville, Tennessee, Virginia, Cincinnati, Ohio, Eureka, California, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Pennsylvania here, Rochester, Minnesota, Orlando, Florida, Sweden. I bet that was a fun recruiting trip to make. And Greater Manchester in Columbus, Ohio. How in the world do you find your players you've got? I mean, it's not like, Dave Dickerson, he had half a Dorman's team playing from right here in Spartanburg. He had Spartanburg County. But just tell me about being able to find players like Gracie in Cincinnati and the players that y'all go to recruit.
Yeah, well, for one, Dorman's got a good women's basketball program, so I got to do a better job of going on there and recruiting some of their players like Dave did. But when it comes to just the reach that we've had when it's come to recruiting, obviously, it becomes a little easier in today's game just with travel tournaments and stuff because they'll bring people from all over into one location. But because of just who we are and kind of as a program and as a coaching staff, we're not out here selling the biggest building because we don't have the biggest building. We've been to the Highs and coached at the Highs. Yeah, we played at the Highs. So
40-some years ago.
So we got to find people that want to be a part of who we are and what we do. And so we don't really put limits on going to a certain area and only recruiting in a certain area. But how it just happened that way, I don't know how. We didn't directly target a certain area. Some of us we do have recruiting ties a lot in Ohio, so that's what led us to players like Gracie Barnes and then Wendy. And then because of that, the proximity of places like Indiana from Rebecca Gordon has kind of opened that up. But it's just a new age of recruiting with transfers and so on and so forth that it does kind of open up. Now, our international players, we have a lot of international contacts on our coaching staff that we trust. And we've actually signed a young lady from Australia who will be coming in next year. So it's just an interesting way. Obviously, us sitting here and being able to do this live, it's a new way to be able to go and recruit. We can watch film. I can watch film nonstop all the time now. So I have to always go be in the gym. But once I feel good, we'll go sit and run somebody and watch and confirm it. But it's not an exact science. It's just a lot of work and not a lot of sleep.
The next time you have a recruit in Sweden, please send me to go evaluate.
Okay, I got you.
That my wife was telling me we were talking about places that to go to celebrate Christmas, and she throws a Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
And I said, heck with you.
Yeah.
So with that though, but I just wondered, how you did that, and how many visits you have to make there. I mean, I need to go back, probably get 2 or 3 times to evaluate that trip there though. I'm sure Upstate would love that.
Yeah, Coach Williams is a person that he is really big on having that face-to-face evaluation. But when it comes to our international players, Olivia Forster, who's played for a really good program at Ipswich, which is in the UK. We have a really good friend that coaches there, so we're able to kind of trust that. Same thing with Vera Sutherland. Her club coach is someone that we've known for a while and recruited a lot of players. So that allows us to save a little bit on the budget and not have to go out there for every trip to see.
I talked to Marty about this earlier, right there, though. You finished the part of the schedule that is really tough, and you have to go through that where you've got to play so many money games and all like that. And just unfortunately, we talked about this, about that just kills people. Look at your record, and I don't think it's fair, and I'm dead set against judging teams or coaches by the records and all like that. What is your thoughts on that? I mean, because you stop and look, because if you look at the coaching records, the majority of the coaches in the Big South do not have a winning record. And it has nothing to do because there's great coaches. And I just hate that for y'all, but you've got to fund the program and do that. Now you're at the part of the season right now that I used to always talk about when you get conference play. This is money season. This is what really counts though. But just talk a little bit about non-conference schedule, about having to play those games, but now you're in the games that really matter.
Yeah, well, Coach Williams knew what he was doing when he sent me today because I'm the one that does our scheduling as well. And I haven't done us any favors in that category when it comes to non-conference scheduling over the past 3 years. But like you said, we do have to hit a certain number. And for the past 3 years, the result of what that's looked like on the scoreboard with the opponents that we've had to play, I'm sure on the outside looking in, you can draw different thoughts, different opinions. But for us, the special thing is as we continuously preach the process and just doing the right thing, regardless if we're getting the result or not, those games have really allowed a great opportunity for us to grow. And And in year one here at Upstate with our staff, we had the best start in program history and conference play. And when we followed that up last year and had an even better start, so we kind of went up it. And I think it kind of goes back to what we've done in non-conference, is just challenging ourselves to have to play those games, but also how we approach them. Because in life and in this game and as far as coaching, it's all about perspective. And so if we make sure ourselves and our players keep the right perspective throughout the process of playing the game, we'll end up getting the results we want, like you said, when it matters in the games and it kicks out. And that's something we just got to continue to buy into and continue to do on a consistent basis. And we'll start to become a program that can have done that.
And that's the thing I don't like. I was fortunate that I got my ring for being an all-time winningest coach at the school I was at there, though. But some of my best years coaching, that I thought I did my best coaching job. My teams were not real good. We struggled. And some of my better years, I think I did a solid job. I had good players. And I don't think it's really fair to judge a team and all that. I used to tell my players and all like that. I know when I was teaching elementary PE, we never kept score. I wouldn't let them. I said, they kept it in their head, the big idiots. But the thing right there is, if you go out and you play your best you can, do the best you can. I just hate that scoreboards sometimes want to try to label you as a winner or a loser. And I don't think that's one thing I don't think is fair about sports.
Yeah, but and the thing for us is this is why we are so dead set on kind of teaching the right things. Is there's many teams that will show up and can do things the wrong way or have the wrong process to go about it and get a result that they want. And then vice versa, you can do things the right way and not get the result that you're aiming for. But in our roles as coaches, like we're not teaching the right things, not only on a basketball court, but in life too. It's important that as long as we keep showing up and doing things the right way, as you were interviewing Gracie, I was just reposting on Instagram that our group had 3.7 GPA cumulative for the semester. And something I'm really proud of, and Coach Williams, our whole staff is really proud of. But it shows that we have kids that want to do things the right way. If we continue to do that, the result of that school will be there.
Well, the thing that I'm most proud of, my ring's great and stuff like that, but I had 17 of my players got college colors. And I had one player that was the first player in his family that ever did go to college. He'd never been out of Spartanburg before. He went to play in California out there at junior college. He was a special ed kid that did not graduate but got a certificate. And I found a place for him to play. He went to play at College of Kings in San Clemente, California. He called me one night, he was in Las Vegas. He called me another night, he was sitting in the front row watching UCLA play. He ended up playing in the #1 draft choice in the slam ball league they had out there. He was the #1 draft choice out there. He was the area player of the year. But to me, that means more was seeing these kids get the opportunity to play at the next level, because you've got so many kids that, and we had college uniforms. I mean, I've got pinstripe uniforms and stuff like that our high school team wore. And I had several college coaches that come in and ask me about the player. The first question is, who does your uniform? I said, I design all of them. And we start from scratch there. But that's, to me, was the big thing, was just, these kids getting a chance to go on and play and do stuff like that. I want to know about, you may be curious now, about the scheduling. What do you do? I mean, you have certain people in mind, you pick up the phone or something like that, or how do you go about scheduling your big games?
Yeah.
Your big money games, that is.
For the money games, to be frank, one thing is how much you pay. That's one thing I have to take into consideration, what we all do. But kind of really cast it like a really broad net, go to see kind of what all of the options are. This year was kind of special in the sense of we scheduled Kentucky, so the head coach there, Kenny Brooks, who was at Virginia Tech. For that, he was at James Madison, and he's someone that this style of play, how he teaches, how he builds his program, it's all about development, keeping players for a duration, so 4 years, 3-4 years to where they get better the longer they're with you, and creating a culture that is conducive to that. So he's someone that's kind of like in the business, that's like a peer that we kind of look up to. So it was always nice to kind of play him because our first year here we played him and he was at Virginia Tech, the Final Four years. I think at Kentucky he might have a Final Four this year, but he's going up there to play him. And so that was
They're going to be a surprise team.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They are.
Yeah, I think they got a really good team, really good group, very well coached. So that's kind of a connection we've had with them for a while. So just because of the relationship, that kind of ties into us skipping in. Then Ava Miller, a freshman on our roster that is from Rochester, Minnesota. Her older sister, Anna Miller, is a senior here at University. And Anna was two-time defensive player of the year. She is first team all conference, a very special player. And this is her senior year, and so she wanted to play her sister while they were friends. And so their staff reached out to us and talked to them, and so they made an offer as far as guarantee money goes. But in order for us to do that and make that trip all the way out there, it makes sense for us. We had to kind of pair it with other high money games, and so that's where Kansas State and Iowa State came from. Which Kansas State, I think, might be another Final Four team. So we might have played two. We'll see how it shakes out by the end of the season.
Iowa State wasn't too bad either, were they?
Yeah, and Iowa State is a top 15 team as well. They definitely not Final Four, they're Sweet 16. But so we played those games because they paid a certain amount that would allow us to be able to make that trip worth it, and then also get that done for Ava. So special moment. They actually did the tip against each other, Ava and that's as parents, that's something that you don't want to like to kind of see. And Ava had a really good night out there, but definitely a trip that had some meaning behind it for us. So there's a lot of different factors that can go into this schedule.
Okay, and I guess it's beneficial too that I know last year, I think PC played South Carolina regular season, then got them again in the tournament.
Yeah.
Did you play a team like that prepares you a little bit better for, if you win, you get the automatic berth. You win the Big South, you get to go to the big dance. And you're going to be paired up against somebody like that.
Most definitely. Definitely prepares you to become that team that wants to advance in the tournament, and it's something that we're continuing to kind of grow.
What do you enjoy most about coaching?
Enjoy most, hands down, just the ability to pour in and grow people. I do feel like my calling in life is just to be able to develop and grow people, and I'm very selective in how I say people. So anybody I come in contact with, I want to be able to help them become the best version of themselves, and the ability to have those relationships and do that here is something that's special. That's why I've had 2 stints with Coach Boyd. There's nobody else as a head coach that focuses on the relationships as much as he does, and really cares about who they are as people first. I've worked for some people that care more about points and rebounds, like they're going to get the basketball player, as opposed to coaching. Being able to have that platform here is special to me.
Coaching aspirations, head coach someday?
Yeah, definitely. Want to be a head coach someday. But for me, building this program is fun. Building this program at Upstate, it's a special place in Spartanburg. I know you prefer Spartanburg to Cincinnati, but I'm a big fan of Spartanburg. Me and my wife have in a week she'll be 1 year old. Our first daughter, raising her together, us raising her in a place that's like Spartanburg is special. But then also when it comes down to the leadership at UC Upstate, from the president and Dr. Harris down to Matt, our athletic director, and his whole staff is just, people can come here and say we don't have the biggest arena, but we have the best people in the country. And so being able to do it that's my immediate aspiration, is build this program the right way with the right people and become successful. Once we do that, then hope that.
Good. And I'll say this for Gracie's benefit too, right here, that I would pretty much today, I enjoy watching women's games better than men's games. It's just the way that the women are more fundamentally sound. The women actually practice free throws and can make a free throw. in most cases there. That's one thing that irritates the daylights out of me, that when I was coaching the kids, the big men would come in and want to practice, start jacking up threes, and the little guys would try to be dunking, and nobody ever practiced free throws. But I was a 91% free throw shooter career from the line. I made 153 in practice in a row in one day. As much as I love to score points, if somebody fouled me, I was going to make that free throw. And I wanted the ball in my hands in the last few minutes of the game, knowing I'd get that opportunity. But that's my biggest pet peeves in coaching are missed free throws and missed shots around the basket because people don't use the backboard. Those are my two things that I go ballistic on right there. And I mean, there's a couple of girls that, again, like I say, I cover University of South Carolina, that I just want to scream at them, use the backboard, because they think, you down on the block, want to shoot it straight. That backboard's up there for a reason. I just go, wow, those are two things that upset me, is missed free throws and missed shots.
Well, Gracie knows how to use that backboard.
The backboard is your best friend in shooting. So I know I'm really dating myself on a lot of stuff. Well, Coach, we have enjoyed having you with us this year and enlightened right there, though. So I'll know next year when y'all get a monstrous schedule to go play, who to play.
Who to throw stuff at. Yeah.
No, but that's good, though. You get a chance on that. You've got to play them. You've got to play them. I would go and play where it's fun and, where y'all can have a good time being there.
Yeah, definitely. And we did that this year and grew a lot and learned a lot about it. So definitely got what we needed.
Well, good luck this week. I look forward to, seeing actually get to call one of your games. Heck, I want to call more. Y'all need to get on Lenny and tell Lenny to let me call more of your games and all, because, hey, I've got my ID card. I am a graduate. He knows that, though, but I'd love to call more of your games that I get to, though, but I always enjoy getting out there. And I have a soft spot in my heart for the women's games at Upstate, because I remember this was back in the growing stages, being there when I went over to assistant coach out there that year and spent the year.
Well, if I talk to Lindy, it might not get you in the spot. I'm not that important. I don't know if I'm going to help you out much, but I'll see if I can put in the work for you.
Every little bit helps. So Coach Stephen Rhodes has been our guest today, representing the women's basketball program, along with Gracie Barnes here. And that's going to wrap it up from the Spartans at the Spice here on week number 1. Again, USC Upstate women will be playing PC on the road 6:30, I believe, Wednesday night down in Clinton, South Carolina. If you get a chance to go down and see them play, they will be good, fundamental basketball players. I endorse that. Again, they do a great job, and the men will also be in town playing. If you want to go see the men play, just go see Spartan basketball.
Definitely. Sounds good to me.
Thank you for being